Good morning, students. Today we will start the next chapter, and that is tissues. As we read in our last chapter that all living organisms, they are made of cells. That is, the body of all living organisms is made up of cells, and because of this we call cell as a structural, functional and basic unit of life. We also read that depending on the number of cells in the body of any organism, it may be classified as unicellular or multicellular. Unicellular means that the body is made up of single cell, and the single cell, it performs all the basic functions of that organism, like intake of food. Here I have given the example of amoeba. This is an amoeba which you are watching on your screen. Amoeba is a single-celled organism, and all the functions like intake of food, respiration, exchange of gases with the environment, excretion, everything, it is done by this single cell. In multicellular organisms, the body is made up of many cells, millions of cells, and most of these cells are specialized to carry out a few functions. Because they are specialized, so they can carry out this particular function very efficiently. Means a group of cells is there which are supposed or destined to perform a particular function, and since they have to perform that function only, they do it very efficiently in a very well planned way. Example is here. Example in human beings, like the muscle cells, they contract and relax to cause movement. Nerve cells carry messages. Blood flows to transport oxygen, food, hormones, and so on. So the muscle cells, they come under muscular system. Nerve cells, we have nervous system for that, and for the transportation of food and oxygen and other things we have circulatory system, and we also call it transportation system. Likewise, in plants, there is a system to transport or to conduct food and water from one part of the plant to other, and the tissues responsible for doing so are vascular tissues. We will read about this in detail in our next section. So because now there is a specialization which is performed by a particular group of cells, we can say that there is division of labor in multicellular organisms. Division of labor means that the work is divided among cells, and the particular function is carried out by a cluster of cells at a definite place in the body. Take an example of the excretory system. Like in human beings, we have two kidneys at the back, and they are supposed to perform function related to the excretion. Now, this cluster of cells is called a tissue, which is arranged and designed so as to give the highest possible efficiency of function. So, this group of cells which performs a particular function very efficiently, we call that a tissue. So from here we have a definition of tissue: a group of cells that are similar in structure and or work together to achieve a particular function. Here you can see the example of a phloem tissue in plants. Phloem is a type of vascular tissue in plants that is used for the conduction of food. Here you can see that there are sieve tubes. In adjacent to the sieve tubes are present companion cells, and adjacent to that is present phloem parenchyma. Now this phloem is a type of tissue which is made up of further 4 types of cells. So here you can also see the sieve plate. So it is an example of tissue in plants which is made up of many cells. So now we can also think of that there is a difference in the tissues of plants and animals. Means the tissues in the bodies of plants and animals are not the same. This is because Plants have tissues that are supportive and provide them with structural strength, and most of these tissues are dead because the plants, they have a sedentary, they are fixed, they are sedentary, they do not have to move from one place to another, and because of this they have tissues which provide them with structural strength. On the other hand, animals, the lifestyle is different and they have tissues, they are mostly living. Another difference is that the growth in plants is limited to certain regions, while this is not so in case of animals. In plants, we will see that there are specific tissues that are dividing throughout their life. But in the animals, the growth is more uniform. There are no distinction of dividing and non-dividing cells. So now we can say that on the basis of what we have learned, that the structural organization of organs and organ system is far more specialized and localized in complex animals than even in very complex plants. Right? So this is all for today. This is a basic introduction of the tissues. In our next sections, we will study separately the tissues which are found in plants, and then we will come to the tissues which are present in animals. Thank you.